Talofa lava and welcome back to Breaking Waves. On today's show, we have a very special guest. Her name is Afamasaga Jackie Curry. She is from the villages of Fasito'otai, Ngangaifolevau, Lefanga, and Leauva'a. She grew up in Samoa, immersed in a family business environment, and has 2 children raised here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. She is the founder and CEO of Specific Consultancy and business educator, coach, mentor, and consultant with over 15 years experience in the Pacific and New Zealand. She is also the founder of the Inai Lau Pacific Business Women's Network. Her passion is to empower and support women who can develop their dream business and have the freedom of being their own boss. She supports women in business at any stage and helps them on developing their business from the beginning stages to business expansion. She currently delivers the Fuimaono Pacific Business Growth Program, which is a service provider for the Pacific Business Village for the Ministry for Pacific People, as well as business coaching, business planning, and digital marketing services for Pacific SMEs as a service provider for the Pacific Business Trust, Business Link, and Pacific private clients. She also supports a MSD national service provider to deliver a business program, which gives people access to business startup grants and flexi-wage. It was so awesome to talk to Jackie. She shared with us a lot of wisdom and insight into the business industry. And if you're interested in diving into that area, please have a listen and enjoy this episode. Afamasaga Jackie Curry, thank you so much for coming onto our Breaking Waves show. We are very excited to have you. You're a very special friend and business friend of us here at Bluwave. And how are you this afternoon?
I'm good, thank you, Hana. Thank you so much for having me here today on Breaking Waves.
Thank you for being here with us. You do a lot of things in the business space. How's your work week been?
It's been pretty busy at the moment, wrapping up one of my programs under a specific consultancy. It's called the Fuimaono Pacific Business Growth Program. So at the moment, we're just wrapping that up. And so it's been a busy week, but a good week. Yeah.
That's good. That's what we like to hear. And tell us a bit about what you do for work.
Yep, sure. So in terms of what I do, I actually deliver business education and training programs. I also am a business coach and mentor and a business consultant. So what does that actually mean? So basically my passion is to support and enable and really empower Pacific business people, especially our women entrepreneurs. That's my passion, is really helping our women entrepreneurs to thrive, to grow their businesses, to start a business, wherever they're at in business. I really love working with our women because I really believe that business leads to freedom and more than just financial security, but just the freedom to do what you want and also to live your purpose in life. So that's what I do.
So if I was someone wanting to start a business, you're the person to talk to.
Yes, I hope I am.
And especially our woman, our Pacific woman is
absolutely,
let's say, the area that you like to specialize in.
Yes, definitely. I love working out with our women entrepreneurs. It's so much fun because we just get to be ourselves as women.
Yeah.
I believe women, we have our own way of doing business. We're very relational. And we also, really love being in groups and, feeding off each other's motivation and vibes. So I love creating that space, that safe space for women in business, especially our Pacifica women, where they can come talk about their business ideas, their dreams, their aspirations, also their challenges, not just as businesswomen, but as women in general, as mothers, wives, daughters, community leaders. Some of the women in my programs are still holding down a 9-to-5 job, and they have a side hustle. I love it.
That's awesome, and I'm glad you're enjoying your work in that space. And I've seen you grow as well, and the amount of we've known each other for going on to like 5 years now. Even in the beginning of my journey into this, and you're helping us a lot in this journey. So I'm really happy And now we're here having an awesome interview together, which is awesome.
So
But
cool.
I wanted to talk about that because there's a lot of glamorization almost about entrepreneurship and being in business, being a CEO, girl boss, you know, these hashtags that go online all the time. And it's kind of looked up on. Like people are like, oh, I want to be that girl boss. I want to be that boss woman that everyone sees having fancy lunches and cafe dates with other women, wine in the middle of the day. And sometimes this is, well, in my this is just me talking from my personal experience, it may not be the reality. Based on your business experience, you know, years in the industry, what's been the reality of business for you?
Yes, well, all I can say is business is up and down. I like to call it a feast and famine. Yes, there are times when you're doing really well in business and you can enjoy, you know, a bit of luxury here and there. So, like you said, some lunches out and, you know, the glamorous side. But there's also what I call the famine parts, the part that you don't really see, which is the part when you're in between, whether it's in between contracts, your sales are slow for a few months. I've seen some women that have had to stop their business because of other priorities, especially family and children, and then they stop and then they start again. So it's a journey. It's a journey, but it's definitely not an easy journey. It's not a path for everyone. I believe that if you, especially as a woman, if you want to get into business, you really need to be passionate about it because that's going to get you through the famine stages, as I call it, which is the times when you may not have enough resources, you know, enough money to pay the bills. You know, you might be sitting at home by yourself as well. That's another part of being in business. A lot of women in business run their businesses from home. It can get very lonely as well. Yes, you might go out once in a while and, you know, have nice lunches and meet with your clients or, you know, potential business partners. But I'd probably say 80% of the time, women in business that I work with are sitting at home working on their business. And yeah, it gets pretty lonely because it's really just you, you know, challenging yourself, keeping yourself well in your mindset, your motivation. You know, you no longer have a manager. If you've come out of a 9-to-5 job, you'll understand what I'm saying. You don't have a manager anymore to manage you, make sure you're okay, you know, give you I guess incentives to help you perform better. You've actually got to now not just manage the business, but even manage yourself as well and your well-being. So yeah, and during the famine times, that's the real challenge. So that's the other side of business.
Yes.
The dark side, if you want to call it, that, you know, especially a lot of women entrepreneurs go through. And on top of that, you know, still having responsibilities, especially for women who have children. You know, having to prioritize your children and constantly trying to balance between the kids and all of those priorities, and also, you know, your responsibilities to your children. And of course, those women entrepreneurs that are mothers will always prioritize their children, and sometimes can be detrimental to their business. And sometimes that can cause them to be less productive in the business, which leads to less sales, less contracts. So, yes, definitely it may look like fancy and, you know, like a lot of fun online, you know, but there's another side to it, you know, but if you're passionate, then you can enjoy it through those tough times as well.
Absolutely. And it's quite a bit of a jump, you know, to go from a 9-to-5 job or 8 to 3 p.m. job into business, because you have that security of wages or salary now taken off from you. What would kind of be like your advice to people who are wanting to make that jump from having a secure salary and then going into starting business?
Yeah. Well, I definitely recommend starting your business first as a side hustle in terms of just testing it out. You know, whether it's making some products and selling them at the markets on a Saturday, or, you know, selling them on Instagram, online, and just testing things out before you take that full jump. You know, for women that want to deliver services, you know, doing, delivering, so at least getting one or two clients, just testing things out. But I believe in every woman, there is a time when you know it's the right time. And one thing that I believe in is trusting your instinct of knowing, okay, now is the right time to leave my safe salary, wages, job. The challenge is that you can have other people around you that, you know, will question your intuition. So in the environments that, you know, I work in, and having, you know, women, and whether it's one-on-one coaching or in group training, we really encourage women, when you feel that feeling of wanting to take that jump into from employment to full-time in your business, that is the right time to do it. You know yourself. And we actually celebrate it, you know, in a lot of the groups and the classes that I'm part of. We always celebrate it when a woman makes that choice.
Love that.
So, you know, because they may not be getting that from family and friends, you know, that don't understand what they're doing, see it as a big risk. So there's no like real right time, I would say, in like a rational way. Like, it's not about having enough money. It's not about, you know, everything lining up in your personal life with your family and your children. It's just really knowing yourself that, okay, this is it, I'm gonna do it. And then having full faith in yourself. That, I think, is the most important part, is the faith in yourself that you can do this, and trusting that it is going to work out because you put your full faith in yourself. So yeah, so that is pretty much the point where I believe is the best time to start your business. Well, go full time into your business. Yeah. That's so amazing. It's different for every woman. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I love your input on that. And you're someone who's obviously made that jump, that leap of faith, and you're doing so well. And now you're in this space. And I think I'll speak on Samoans because I am Samoan. Samoan women, I feel they will naturally thrive in business because of our positioning in in the cultural setting as well, and also in our homes and our families. We're multitaskers. We're project managers from birth, especially like the eldest girls as well. You know, they're given a lot of responsibility from a young age. So growing up, a lot of Samoan girls and women are taught, you know, how to manage things. Now you're a Samoan woman in business. What are kind of some like the challenges that you receive from men or in that space that you feel you receive being a woman in that space?
Very interesting question, Hana.
This wasn't on the question list.
I know.
But listening to you.
Good question. Yeah. No, definitely. I guess for myself, maybe I come from a different kind of background. So going into business was natural to me. I grew up in a business family in Samoa. From, like you talk about being the eldest girl from a young age, you know, having a lot of responsibility. Well, that was pretty much my life growing up in Samoa. My parents owned, you know, different businesses. I even grew up around my grandparents when I was young. They were all in business. So I grew up in that environment. So I was actually more drawn to business than to employment, right, from a young age. So, but in terms of being in those spaces with men, I guess, you know, men can be very competitive, and they also have their own way of doing business, I believe. And so as a woman, what I've learned is that you don't have to do things the way men do it. You know, it's like being in the corporate sector, right? You know, like climbing the corporate ladder. A lot of women get pulled into feeling like they need to do things the way men do it. But I believe it's actually about being confident in who you are as a woman, knowing what your strengths are, and being able to navigate especially if you're in a very male space, how to actually bring out your strengths as a woman and be confident in it. Now that's not easy, and that can take some time to build up that confidence. Um, but that's what I've learned over time is don't try and do things the way men do it, because that's the way they do it. And they thrive in their strengths. So for us as Samoan women, as Pacific women, like you said, we're natural project managers. I don't know any Samoan woman that probably hasn't been involved in helping to organize a wedding, a funeral, a birthday, and being involved in big family events as well, reunions, being on committees, whether it's at church, family. So it's about taking those skills and strengths that we have as Samoan or Pacific women and leaning on that. Yeah. And not feeling like we have to adjust again to the way that men do
operate.
Things. Yeah. And it may not happen straight away, but over time, as you have that confidence in the way you do things, men will come to respect you in the way that you do business. Yeah. I find that you really got to put your foot down. That this is the way, yes, the way you guys do, the way you do something, I respect that. But this is the way I do it. And this works for me as a woman. And in my business, this works well. So I guess what it comes down to is confidence. So yeah, it's confidence.
In saying that, there's been a lot of discourse online about affiliate marketing. And a lot of our Pacific women are, taking on affiliate marketing. What are your thoughts about this? Because there's a lot of discourse, it's scammy, it's fake. And there's other people saying, no, it's a real business. And the dream they're usually selling is the be your own boss. Get away from the 9 to 5, have freedom. What are your thoughts on this? And I noticed they engage a lot with Pacific and Māori women.
Great question. I guess it's actually quite a sensitive topic, I believe, because there are a lot of, I have seen a lot of Pacific women doing very well in affiliate marketing. So it's not to say that it's not a legit way of earning an income or legit business. I believe it is legit like any business. But when it comes down to it, like in any business, to do well in a business, you need certain talents and skills. And I believe that the women that do really well in affiliate marketing, they have certain skills. They usually are very influential and charismatic. So they're able to generate a following of people that, I guess, buy into, what they're selling, whether it's the dream business or whether it's the actual products themselves. So they definitely have good sales skills. Normally, in this day and age, it's all about social media. So they're really good at putting out content. So there's certain talents and skills that they have, and that's why they thrive in an affiliate marketing type of business.
And also like how big the networks are with Māori and Pacific people.
Yes, that's why I believe a lot of affiliate marketing companies target our women, because we have massive networks of and those are real relationships. They're not just followers we don't know. They're actually family members, friends of friends. So we have huge networks as Pacific people, especially women. So, if you have that, you can leverage it if you choose to have an affiliate marketing business. However, at the end of the day, when you I have tried out a couple of them. So, I know the business model. At the end of the day, what I see is that it's a company that's recruiting people to basically sell products on their behalf. So to me, it's like a commission-based sales. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, the only part I don't always agree with is the fact that not everyone can thrive in it. So women that are sitting at home, like wanting to start a business, wanting that financial freedom, wanting that, luxury life that is painted, if you don't have the right skills and talents, then you may be investing your money and time into something that's not going to work for you, because that's not your strengths. So remember, we just talked about strengths before. So at the end of the day, it's about actually looking at it realistically, like any business opportunity. Like, do I have the talents and skills to do this? And if you don't, then why not? If you have a dream of doing a business, then why not do your own business? Why not sell your own products? Why not tap into your own skills, whether it's making products, selling services, whatever it is you're good at? You can start your own business. You could be just as successful putting all your time and energy into your own, because any business, including the affiliate marketing businesses, they take time and energy, like any business. So really, it's about making a choice of, if you want to be in business, you also have the choice to start your own business.
Absolutely.
Come and engage with in the Pacific space. There are so many support systems in place. You have organizations like Pacific Business Trust, the Pacific Business Hub. In the regions, they now have their own networks. You can engage with service providers like my business. Reach out to us, and even if you have these type of opportunities presented to you, come and see us, and then we can talk it through with you to actually see whether it's going to be a worthwhile investment for you. But if you're going to spend $500, $1,000, $2,000 on investing in these type of opportunities, who's to say that you couldn't
use that brave, same money
same money to actually start your own business? And there's people like us that can help you start that business.
Absolutely.
and really like find out what you're good at.
Some of the affiliate marketing courses I have seen even go up to 3,000. I'm like, man, that's a really good consultation package. To get a good consulting person to help you with a business plan, and maybe get you started with a website. So I guess it's maybe making the right choice on what direction you want to go to, and having faith in yourself, because sometimes there's a bit of blanket security when you're working under a company who's making you believe you are a business owner. But then stepping out on your own and creating that product is also a bit of a jump of faith as well. So I totally understand. It is what you were talking about before, and having that faith in yourself and making that conscious choice. In saying that, we've discussed that Pacific and Māori women really thrive in the business space. And in Pacific culture, there's a lot of emphasis around growing up in our values of servitude and giving. And in business, sometimes if you give too much, and that can imbalance things. What would your advice be to women who have those values ingrained in them to serve, who are now entering business, to balance those values with making sure financial commitments are prioritized?
Yes, that's a really great question, and actually another very sensitive, I guess, and challenging issue with our people, both men and women, getting into business. So in terms of, yes, we have a heart to serve. We are brought up to serve, to think of others' needs, most of the time before our own, whether it's our, family members, church groups, community groups we get involved in. However, when you get into business, at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Do you want to grow a sustainable business? So what is a sustainable business? It's a business that's going to sustain itself, right? You actually have to separate yourself somewhat from your business and see the business as it's separate. Like, actually, as women, if you look at the business like it's a baby, it's a child that you need to nurture, look after, just as much as you need to serve other commitments. So if you look at it that way, if you continuously, if you don't commit enough time to nurturing that baby, if you're taking resource away from that baby, then that baby's not going to thrive. And resource is not just money, it could also be your time. Absolutely. And your energy. So in order to grow a sustainable business, it really needs your time and energy. Yeah, it does need financial input as well, but you can always find creative ways. And I truly believe when you commit to your business, you will attract opportunities to bring financial resource, whether it's through customers and clients or funding, finance. But at the end of the day, you're not going to attract that finance or that funding if you don't put that time and energy into your business. So going back to the servitude, so if you're dividing your time and you're not giving enough time to this baby here, then what's going to happen? You go and serve your family, your community, your church. The business is not going to survive. Yeah, it needs your time and energy. And for a lot of women, especially that I've mentored and coached, they feel bad. They feel torn between their business and all the other responsibilities. But at the end of the day, it's to get into business and, like I said, have a sustainable business, you have to commit. And that also includes being perceived as selfish, because I don't believe it's selfish to put time and commitment into your business. However, other people that are used to having more of your time and energy, whether it's friends, family, organizations that you've given time to, like church or NGOs, they're not going to really like it because they've always had maybe more access to you, to your time and your energy. But you have to be selfish, but actually you're not being selfish because you're looking after this baby just like you would another child. And that's the only way that it's going to survive and grow and thrive. So it really is you really get to a point where you have to make some hard choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you've made that decision to discover, okay, I'm going to focus my energy here now, you get a lot of attitudes from people or mistreatment from people, whether it be gossip. How have you personally dealt with those kind of situations?
Yeah, it's challenging. I guess you really have to disengage, to be honest, from, I would say, it's noise. You have to actually, and it's not easy. You have to learn how to not take it personally, not get emotional about it. In the beginning, yes, it will affect you, but over time, you just have to block it out. And again, this comes back to the point of having faith in yourself and believing in yourself, and that's why it's so important. Because if you're not strong in your faith in yourself, it's easy to get distracted by what other people say about you, by other people, trying to take your time and energy that you used to give them. But at the end of the day, you have this baby, you've committed to this baby, and it needs your time and attention. So therefore, the only way you're going to be able to focus on that baby is you have to somehow block out the noise. You have to be quite, what's the word, like, discerning about, where you give your time and energy to. And also, I know we're going to talk about this a bit later on in more detail, but self-care is so important in terms of not feeling like you're so tired, you've given so much time and energy for your business, and then you try and use your last ounce of strength to go and give it to, community stuff, church stuff, friends and family that want to see you. But in order to, like, rejuvenate yourself, you also need to have rest. And that is an important part of looking after your business, your baby. Because if you're, emotionally tired, mentally tired, physically tired, then you're also going to struggle. So, because some people that, that saying, spreading yourself too thin. Yeah. So it is a very real thing. And if you do that, then you'll find that, again, this baby is not going to survive and thrive because you need to have that time and energy. And you actually need to, and that includes the rest time.
Yes.
So that you can come back and do it really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess, in our specific way of looking at it, you would probably be perceived as selfish. Um, but on the other side of that, in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, eventually the fruits of your sacrifice will come into fruition. And then people that, didn't understand what you were doing in the beginning, they'll see the fruits and, okay, you know, that's where their energy and time was going. And then they'll be happy, eventually be happy for you. But in the beginning, you just really you gotta be discerning.
It's rough, eh?
Yeah.
It's rough, and you have
It's
to
not easy.
be discerning. And that's what I wanted to go into, because we've established that business requires a lot of time and energy, which are resources, very important resources. And because business requires that kind of input from an individual, health and well-being must be a crucial part to it, because it's very hard for someone to focus on their business if they have a million other challenges they're going through mentally, whether it be spiritually or even physically. How have you managed to help, the people you mentor or coach in business balance these things? Because if one is imbalanced, it can definitely impact the progress of their business. How do you approach that?
So yes, so this is something over the years. When I first started out in business mentoring and business training, I just used to focus on, teaching people how to run a business. And this is the ABCs of business. This is marketing. This is accounting. This is financial planning, HR, and so forth. But over the years, what I've realized is actually the health and well-being of the business owner is one of the most important parts of the business. And it actually needs to be a separate topic that you intentionally talk about with your client, with your business clients. Because if you as a business owner are not well, then your business, your business will suffer. Yeah. You are the most important resource for your business. Doesn't matter if you have millions of dollars coming through your business, but if the CEO or the founder, the person driving the business is not well, then it's going to impact the business eventually. Like maybe for 1, 2, 5 years, you can push yourself to the limit, but eventually you will burn out. And when you burn out, just like in a corporate job, where a lot of people in corporate jobs burn out as well. But the benefit that you get in a corporate job is you can take sick leave. You get paid. You can even apply for all sorts of support.
Absolutely.
To help you with, the impacts of stress, through benefits that these companies offer their employees. But in business, you don't get any of those benefits. You have to create them for yourselves. For yourself. Yeah. And so what I've realized is that health and well-being is actually one of the most important topics to cover, as a business, to actually intentionally be conscious about in the way that you deliver your business. Because going back to the baby concept, it's just like as parents, if we pour everything into our children and we don't take care of ourselves, then eventually it's going to affect the way that we parent our children, right? So the same thing with the business. If we pour everything into the business, but we don't take care of ourselves as the business owner, then then it can affect us. So there are a few different areas that I like to talk about with my clients that I believe are really important in holistic health and well-being, especially for Pacifica, because we are stretched. We have so much responsibilities. Like I said before, it's about prioritizing your business, but you will still have other things that pop up that you have to still commit to, especially like in the Samoan context, if you're a Matai, if there's certain family things going on, especially funerals, you have to give your time to that, and other commitments, So there are things you can choose to not engage in, but then there are things you must, as a responsibility, must engage in. So in order to manage all of that, there are a few different aspects that I like to cover with my clients. So one is looking at mental health, as a priority. That's very important. Physical health is also very important. What are you doing in terms of your physical health, your eating, are you engaging in either, whether it's a gym or community exercise or something that works for you? What are you doing about your physical health? That's really important. Spiritual health. And this is not just turning up to church on Sunday. It's so much deeper than that. But how are you with your own personal spiritual journey? Um, in my classes, especially, I actually bring in a spiritual side to the way that I teach business. And if if my class needs to hear scripture to like make an example of a business concept, I bring that into the classes. I bring it into my one-on-ones with my clients. There's nothing wrong with bringing your spiritual side into business. In fact, I believe as Pacifica and even as Christian or spiritual people, that actually makes us stronger in business when we lean on the spiritual side.
Absolutely.
Then there's also the cultural side, being who we are in our business, living our values in our business. And then finally, family and relationships. How do we manage that? We may not be able to give much time to it, but it's still an important part of who we are as Pacifica. And all of that wrapped up, I call it self-care. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
How are you as a business owner looking after yourself? What are your practices? What are your intentional things you do? Getting up in the morning and going for a walk, going to the gym every day, engaging with health professionals that can help you with, your eating or whatever you might be struggling with.
Yeah.
So all of those aspects wrapped up make up holistic well-being for a business owner.
Something came straight to my mind when you said the spiritual aspect was Proverbs 31, the capable wife or the capable woman.
Yes.
And it's so funny because I grew up with this idea that, I don't know, it must have been some sort of religious trauma, but I grew up with this idea that women have to be submissive and we just stay home and do this. It's probably something society even pushed onto me, like, you are the person. But if you read Proverbs 31,
yes,
a capable woman or a godly woman is a woman who is up selling at business markets. She's in control of the finances at home. She's looking after her kids. She's buying land. She's in the farm, and she considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She's a farmer. She's in agriculture. So I really like how you tie the spiritual aspect in it, because if you're grounded in that, the challenges become a bit more bearable because you have a foundation that is stable and secure. And I like that you incorporate that into your mentoring with a lot of your the business owners that you engage with. But thank you so much, Jackie, for sharing this with us. Do you have any last words of advice for our Pacifica women who are wanting to embark on their business journey?
Awesome. Well, I would love to recommend that they read Proverbs 31, first of all. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a foundational proverb or scripture that I actually, use in my classes. It's the foundational scripture for the Anae Pacific Businesswomen's Network, which I also run on the side. So I really believe in everything that Proverbs 31 talks about, which you've already mentioned, is that for us as women, yes, we were made to be mothers and nurturers, but also I believe, the Bible says it. We were also made to be businesswomen, to, make our own products and purchases for the well-being of our families.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it all comes down to. The Proverbs 31 woman is a woman that's well respected, by other people, by her children, by her husband, and admired. She's, a prosperous woman. So, I just believe, I mean, I think I'll just leave it there with the Proverbs 31 woman, because that is really who I personally aspire to be. And if you aspire as a Pacific woman to be uh, the Proverbs 31 woman, then you will thrive in your business, because there's so much good advice and inspiration in that particular scripture. And actually, I'll leave you with one more, not a scripture, but a Samoan proverb. E au le'i nai lau te maitai. So you know how much I love that proverb. And it is the basis for the Inai Lao Pacific Businesswomen's Network. And what that really means for me personally, because it can have so much meanings, is, you know, that us as Samoan Pacific women, we really deliver tasks at an excellent level. That's what Auli Inai Lao is all based on. I mean, I won't get into the story right now, but it's all about how us as women, our strength is that when we do something, we do it very well. And again, it comes back to putting time and energy into your business. But if you commit to your business just as well as you commit to your children and your family and your home, to, you know, maybe church groups that you've been involved in, and family reunions, and all whatever it is that you put your time and energy into it, I truly believe Samoan and Pacific women, we really want to do it at an excellent standard. So, you know, if you just have that, if you practice that in your business, you can really thrive as well. Just having excellence and having high standards. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie.